Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is well. I want to share something with you that I got from Mars Invest. Um, I'm not sure if I'll be able to start this video over, but when I first started playing this video, they had an ad that was from Mars Invest where they were encouraging people to invest in housing that will be rental housing for single family homes. So I just wanted to show y'all an example of how the children of the corn will tell you about the bad happening, and they'll have you all feeling like you prepared. But then in another instant, they'll be telling you about the future. And the future is investing in affordable housing that's buying for rental. So you buy this property, have it built, and it's only for rental purposes. You're not buying it to own, to live in. It's solely to make residual income from rental properties, from owning rentals. And it plays into the um, you will own nothing and you will be happy. So most people don't realize that home ownership is out of reach for a large majority of the people in this country. And even people who do have homes, they are more likely now than ever to lose that property and become a renter because insurance policies are being canceled because of the risk. Like in Florida, it's hurricane season and the insurance company just dropped 100,000 people from the insurance policies. So they either cannot afford to have insurance on their property, or if they do have it, it's going to be so expensive it is going to drastically change how they live. But in any event, if something happens to the people who are not insured and who cannot afford insurance, then they won't be able to rebuild. They may not get anything for their losses, and they lose that property. They'll have to walk away from it. It becomes owned by the bank, and then guess what? Voila, they rebuild rental properties. The equity firms come in, like BlackRock, buy up the property and then build what they want to build and just build, resort housing or rental housing or whatever they want to build um, after they have figured out a way to finagle folks out of the stuff. And let alone, let's talk about how they are creating these conditions where you're going to have stronger storms. And it's almost guaranteed that people will have loss of life, loss of property, um, loss of prime real estate. So it's a very interesting time to be alive. But if you can go back and watch this video from the beginning, I'll put a link in the description. Well, at the very beginning, you'll see where it talks about building properties and want you to invest in this opportunity so you can build houses for people to rent. So all the while, he's bragging about telling you about the plans of the World Economic Forum, but also teaching you how to benefit from the misfortune of the poor, the masses. uh, I find that extremely despicable, which is why I have such a difficult time working in Babylon, because I'm able to see past the BS. And so this is why I never get, I only give the children of the corn so much credit for telling us stuff, because rarely do they ever tell you something without having a back door or a backup plan. And this is kind of how I feel about this dude. Like him and his wife, they're so shady and grifty. Um, just it's really disheartening to see how these people benefit from the misfortune or the future misfortune of others. But they are literally positioning themselves to come into a windfall, because people are going to be on universal basic income. People, even if they work, they may not be able to afford a mortgage, but they'll need housing. And so they'll be forced to rent. And nobody wants to live in garbage. So they're going to build nice, affordable housing for people to to rent, and they will own it and they'll be happy, but we won't own anything. So, to live in Babylon or anywhere in a Western nation, it's just going to be hellish. But anyway, that ain't what I want to talk about. It just annoyed me at the beginning of this video. So I want to talk about it, but I want to talk about it so that when you watch it, you can look out for that and just see the hypocrisy. Anyway, I wanted to ask if white people were going to be okay, because everybody in the world is turning on them and they're turning on each other. So it's very interesting to watch um, the dominant society fall and acknowledge that, hey, we ain't got our stuff together. And not only that, but it's like I've always said, they cannot exist without the continent of Africa. They cannot exist without Black people, African people. They cannot exist without stealing and destroying from other nations. And that is how Europe was built. It is how America was built, and they're going to tear it up like they tore up everything else on the way out, and they're going to go back to Africa and try to recolonize it. They've already made that announcement. And so, I feel sorry for the people in Africa, because they think that, oh, because they're coming, it's going to be so good. It's not. They're not those people. Like the way they treated us, it's an we're exaggerating. It's a figment of our imagination. It is not. So listen to this video by Clayton Mars.
Changing for the US dollar. That is because the BRICS nations are coming together for their big event in Russia, and China will be there. And of course, the acceleration to the BRICS currency right now, which is of course based on commodities, based on gold, is accelerating at a pace that the United States has dramatically underappreciated. And they are left right now going to be holding the bag. That's why Trump last week came out and actually talked about this and said, we cannot allow countries to move off the US dollar. That would be like a revolutionary war, he said. Yeah. And of course, the Biden administration is actively freaking out about this. Janet Yellen traveling to China, of course, last week. Antony Blinken also going to China last week and trying to convince Xi Jinping to stop supporting Russia. I mean, now they're freaking out. They literally didn't see this coming. We accelerated this mess because of our sanctions against Russia following the outbreak of war in Ukraine. We pushed Russia to war in Ukraine, and now we're left holding the bag. Yeah, if you need the history of this, of course, going back to 2014, we fomented a coup in Ukraine and pushed NATO right up to their doorstep. And then Russia invades, says we're not going to allow this to happen. We sanction them, actually hurts the United States more than anything. And they're like, oh, really? You're going to sanction us? You don't want to have to do business with us anymore? Fine. We're going to create our own currency, backed by gold, backed by precious metals, and you guys are going to be left holding the bag of the US dollar. We're done. And of course, now we're seeing this acceleration away from the US dollar across the board. So this week, well, last week, I should say, last week we saw a number of African countries coming out and saying we want to get our gold out of the United States. We want to repatriate our gold, which I also find very interesting. Like, why is there gold stored in the United States anyway? That was news to me. But sure enough, South Africa, Ghana, Cameroon, Nigeria, and others trying to pull their gold out of the United States. So the gold holdings that we try to control in the United States, they're done. They want it out. They want to move it back to their home countries. This is a major move, guys, away from the U.S. dollar hegemony, controlling the entire money supply. So sure, we'll keep our gold in the United States because nothing really is going to happen. You guys control the seas with your Navy. You guys protect trade routes. You guys are the U.S. reserve dollar currency of the world. That's how the entire world operates until it stops operating that way. And
Now, do you see how they rewrite history? No, that's not how it went. It was, everybody was bullied. If you don't get in line, we're going to have a coup. We're going to sow seeds of discord among your ignorant masses of people who don't know any better. We're going to take over your natural resources. We're going to convert your people. We're going to come in and rape and pillage and rob you so that you can't ever get on your feet. And if you do go with us, we'll only do it a little bit, and we'll let you have some semblance of representation that looks like you, but we still going to control all the strings, and you won't be able to do anything unless we say so. So we're going to run everything and you're going to follow us. Okay, okay. That's how this went with the dominant society, and here they are yet again trying to rewrite history. So I'm not saying that all these things that he's talking about aren't happening, because that's the primary reason that I'm showing it to you. But I also want you to see the hypocrisy of how they will tell the story, rewrite history, exclude how things actually went down for centuries. And now that this new global order is coming online, and even they're still in control of it because the Khazars are over everything. So it's still children of the corn. It's just children of the corn with protections through laws all over the world. But they refuse to acknowledge their role in anything. They're trying to act like they're the victim when they have benefited from the enslavement and demoralization and the theft of our resources, to say our, chosen people, for centuries. And it's over. Like, you can see everybody scrambling and trying to figure out how they're going to evade capture, how they're going to, you know, wash, so to speak, so they don't have to get any dirt on them. But we ain't sleep. We see what's happening. Even people who are not as knowledgeable as a lot of us know, what time it is. So they are like literally concerned about not having nothing. And so I say, where y'all bootstraps at? Well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Why you got to go to Africa? Why you can't stay in your little desolate, barren lands and fix your own country? You always talking about migrants and don't want this and don't want that. But you see how, it's two things that's going on here. One, at the beginning of his video, he's talking about how he's going to benefit or exploit, benefit basically from the misfortune of his fellow citizens while he tells them what's coming. And then, you have them talking about going to other nations and exploiting and being concerned about other people doing as good as they are. It's insane to watch this. It is exhausting.
And now, of course, the pressure from Russia and China against these currencies and against them using the US dollar. I mean, heck, last week we saw Niger, the country of Niger. This is an unbelievable story, right? We see American troops who are not supposed to be there. They've been kicked out. And at this particular airbase, they were not supposed to be there. Russian forces show up and they go to the airbase, and lo and behold, guess who's there? American forces. Russians and Americans face to face in Niger. And the reason is because Niger called on Russia for security. They don't want the United States there anymore.
So you see how the whole entire world is sick of Whitelandia. Everybody is tired. Everybody is like, oh, the bully is knocked down. The bully is going down. Yeah, we're gonna team up with whoever is beating up the bully, and we're gonna do whatever. So that's kind of what you see happening now. Although, let me just say for the record, we're watching a movie. Everybody's playing their part, but the point being that if we are living here in Babylon, we still in captivity, so we have to keep watch and understand what we're seeing, and how it will impact us. And how this is going to impact us is, as soon as this dollar is not of any value, you're going to see white people change. They're all like, we need to come together, we need to work together. It's just us. We all a team. We all one. Color doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. But soon as that dollar ain't no good, then they're gonna be like, oh well, niggas can't come in the grocery store. Just keeping it a buck. We don't want you at our gas stations. They're gonna close up as much stuff as they can in our community, so we won't have um, many places to go. And then they're going to prohibit us from going into their communities, either by law or informal law, like via militias or, private armed guards who look like Klansmen and racists who will do some harm to you if you even try to cross a line. So this is how close we are to some real bad things happening with the economic collapse, with civil war, with these protests going on college campuses that are being exacerbated by the media, because in a lot of places nothing is happening, but they're making a big deal out of nothing. You think about the supply chain, the illnesses, plural, that are out here flying around. Gas prices are going up. Gas prices will continue to go up because OPEC is getting ready to, everybody's getting ready to turn on America and the West. So while the leaders already have their plan B, they got their bunkers, they got everything they need to, survive whatever's coming. For us, we got to prepare. And so while food is still reasonable, get you some. While, things that you will need for your home, uh, to live without some stuff and go through hardships, get those things. If you have money in a 401k and you can borrow some money out of it, even though it's your money, you just borrow your money, pay yourself back. Do that thing. Get your money and buy you some stuff. Pay your debt off. Buy you some things that you need. Get you some tents and some good boots. You might have to hike. Get you a good backpack so you can have your great go bag. Get you some non-perishable food items and some water and some distillers or water purification stuff. Like, we really, really, really gotta be thinking um, seriously about a lot of things happening at one time. And that is what I see. Oh, and I didn't talk about war breaking out. Like, Russia is ready to attack NATO in Europe. Um, I read in Poland a listening device was found in a government meeting room. And I think Poland is an ally with Russia. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's some stuff going on in Europe. And people over there are afraid. Like, we ain't even talking about nothing here. But once Russia is done with Europe, he coming here. Like, it's just natural. Britain, Europe, and then America. Um, we gotta be ready. And so when this money collapses is no good, we just stuck with paper money. So you need to be trying to not to have as much as you can on you. And that's why I was telling, people, get gold, get silver, pay off your debt. If you can, pay up some bills a month or two, three, couple years in advance. Get your receipts so that in the event that inflation drives the cost of things up, you'll have a cushion and you can figure out how you're going to survive. But I mean, before it's all over, it's going to be so much um, turmoil because people are not going to be ready. Add to that infrastructure situations where, we're attacked or hacked. It's going to be ugly, y'all. I just can't even think of it. It gives me a headache thinking about it. But let me finish this video.
They're tired of the United States basically stealing their uranium. So
And he said like he ain't from the United States and he ain't white. Sir, you helped stole too. Probably your pappy, your great great pappy, grandpappy. Like, this is crazy how they just like they're tired of the United States stealing. Sir, they're tired of you. Anything that's pale, pasty, they're tired of you too. And you got a US passport, tired of you. Got a European passport, tired of you. Canadian, tired of you.
So they called upon, and the French, by the way. So they call upon Russia for security. So Russian forces show up. There's American forces in a base they're not supposed to be in. Like, this is what's at stake right now, guys. These superpowers are realigning everything. And you're going to see in a week's time on May 14th in Moscow, this big conference with all of the BRICS nations there, and the focus is currency. It's going to be very interesting to see how China involves itself with this, and to a much larger degree, of course, the yuan-backed currency, and in moving fully away from the US dollar. Mark my words. Next week, it's all coming together at the same time, guys. It's the timing of this it's not coincidental. You have the head of the EU, one of the chief diplomats for the European Union, Joseph Borrell, saying that Ukraine is going to collapse in a matter of 2 weeks. Right? He said that the other day. And then BRICS is holding its big conference around currency in 2 weeks. Like, the timing on all of this is so fishy, right? You know that Europe right now wants to put boots on the ground inside of Ukraine. You have French President Macron coming out saying that we cannot rule that out, and that if Russia advances anymore, we should put European forces and boots on the ground inside of Ukraine to stop this. Chief diplomat for the EU comes out and says that Ukraine is about to collapse in 2 weeks. And all of this is to, again, follow the money, follow the gold, follow the money. It was never about democracy, preserving democracy in Ukraine. It was always about the money and the decline of the US dollar. Western hegemony right now on the decline. I mean, again, you don't come out with, Macron says last week that Europe is facing death. I mean, really?
So you hear that, like, they're having to tell. That's their nice way of telling the people, hey, we running out. We fresh out of stuff to steal. I have to go back to the drawing board and start stealing from where we originally started stealing from. Hope y'all are okay with that. So it's just wild to see them acknowledge what we've always known. It's also interesting to watch white people just act like, oh, it's not them, it's somebody else. It's the name, the United States, and not the people who have had the power for hundreds of years, who also contributed to this military industrial complex.
So all of these big moments, all these big words being floated around about the decline of the US dollar, the death of Europe from the French president. Ukraine is about to collapse. And you're seeing this rise of Russia and the BRICS currency right now. And by the way, that's why you're seeing gold prices going up so much. Because we're already such a constrained supply of precious metals that they don't have it. They don't have enough gold to supply this. If they're going to build their entire currency around commodities, specifically gold, there's going to be a lot more mining that's going to need to happen. And of course, a lot of the mining that's going to take place in countries like Papua New Guinea and other places, you're going to see Western influence colliding with European influence and Eastern influence right now, guys. So we're at a really interesting moment. In fact, I penned a new report, co-authored a new report, and it's what Putin did about a week ago, which is unbelievable, to JP Morgan, and trying to go in and actually take away JP Morgan's assets, seizing billions of dollars in JP Morgan assets. And you're going to start to see this more and more. If the West wants to seize assets from Russia, billions of dollars held in banks, then that's exactly what Russia is doing right now, seizing assets, billions of dollars from United States assets inside of Russia. And this is a financial war, unlike anything we've seen in decades. So check out that. I'll put the link up here on the screen. I want you guys all to go download it. It's really fascinating, and it's a really good report. I encourage you all to read it so you can understand what's happening right now about the seizure of these assets. So just go to morrisinvest.com/Putin, morrisinvest.com/Putin, to check out that free report. We'll get back to the video in a second, but look, your money is not safe. You can see all the time that stocks can crash, bonds lose value. Anything that you can't physically put your hands on increases your risk right now. Hey everyone, I'm Clayton Morris, longtime real estate investor and founder of Morris Invest. And my favorite tangible asset is real estate.
Okay, here's the ad I was telling you about.
Consistently outperforms other asset classes. And I believe it's the #1 way to build and protect your wealth. Now, while there are several ways you can invest in real estate, most of which I've tried myself, the build to rent model offers the most benefits. More specifically, single family buy and hold rentals. Here's why. Much lower risk than trying to flip a house. You have more control and higher returns than REITs. if you're investing in the stock market. It's way less work than wholesaling properties if you're into wholesaling. Many fewer repairs and headaches.
So this is that affordable housing, common good, you will own nothing and be happy thing that's happening. And in order for them to meet their 2030 goal, they got to build these things. And I don't know if y'all been paying attention to all these apartments and things that have been going up, but a lot of mixed affordable housing initiatives are going up all over the country. And I'm gonna try to share this without divulging too much information. Some of my work that I have been doing as of late, I've been um, doing some work on reviewing plans on affordable housing things. And y'all, they are building all kinds of stuff for migrants and immigrants, for people who don't have citizenship. They can get car loans without credit. They can farmers are building housing, affordable housing for their farm workers. When have they ever? They never built no farmhouses for their slaves. Never. These immigrants, these illegal entrants are getting bootstraps we never received. And it is happening, it's happening so fast. Oh my God, I can't even tell y'all the stuff that I have seen over the last couple of weeks about loans through credit unions and community development financial institutions, so that they don't have to take out payday loans, illegal entrants. So they'll have money to start small businesses. It's wild. Anyway, this whole thing that he's talking about, like, he's on one end of the spectrum talking about how terrible America is, la la la. But on the other end of the spectrum, he's benefiting from the future misfortune of us all. So, if you think highly of this dude and his wife, like, you really should think again. He's just another white man who is trying to benefit from our misfortunes and helping keep us in captivity. He's going to benefit. He's going to tell you about what's coming, but he's also going to figure out a way to position himself to benefit from it, just like most white people, unfortunately. So I just wanted to point that out. We'll see if this continue to play.
Than trying to rehab a property. My company, Morris Invest, along with the help from our partner at Sedera Wealth, helps you invest in build-to-rent properties as easily as investing in stocks. That's because we buy and build in bulk, and then we pass on our savings to you. And when you purchase a property through us, you get discounted pricing on properties at or below market value. Seller incentives like mortgage buy-down rates and credits right now usually lowers your rate by about 1%. And we know with higher interest rates right now, you definitely want that, right? And you get free ongoing customer service for the life of your investment. Get personal phone numbers and email addresses of our team. And build-to-rent properties are in prime growth markets. We're talking 18% internal rate of return. 18%. Amazing tax benefits. And you get a free cost segregation report, helping find strategies that increase tax write-offs. You get principal reduction as your tenant pays down your mortgage. And you get steadily growing appreciation and equity gains. Plus, positive cash flow. We won't sell you a property if the math doesn't add up. If you want to know more, just click the link in the description box and it'll take you to our website where you can book a free call with our team. There's zero.
So you hear, like, he's selling it so good, like he ain't a part of the WEF's agenda. You will own nothing and you'll be happy. He gonna benefit from you not owning nothing. He gonna own stuff though, because you see, he's buying houses and having people invest in his company that buys houses and rents them out, and you're gonna get a dividend. So how about that? It's crazy, crazy. I just wanted to highlight that. I'm not gonna play the whole entire video. I'll let you watch it on your own. But I just want to show you the hypocrisy of whiteness. But this is why the curses are going to flip, because their time is up. They're trying to position themselves to remain in power so they can lord over us. and it's not going to work. The Most High is definitely going to deliver us. When? No one knows. But what we do know is whatever their plans are, they won't work. Nothing they do ever works. You just look at how society is now. We've tried to live their way and have democracy and free this and free that. It don't work. So it's just a matter of time. We just have to be patient. We have to continue to cry out. We have to just be tired. You cannot just be like, oh yeah, this is how things are going to be, and I'm gonna just transition. We can't keep doing that. It's not gonna work. So anyway, I just want to share this with you because a lot of things are happening with the money, a lot of things are happening with war, a lot of things are happening with the transition of power, how Russia and China are asserting themselves, challenging the US, and the US doesn't have anything to challenge them. Everybody knows the dollar isn't backed by anything. Everybody's dumping that. They know our military is ill-equipped to deal with all these fires all over the world. We don't have any money to buy anything or do anything. The people are taxed to death. Like we don't have anything. The economy globally is getting ready to collapse. They have, and I don't know who the boogeyman or boogeymen are, but they've sown enough discord in this country that is ripe for um, taken over by anybody. And most people just are not equipped. They're not ready for what's coming. So, anyway, I just want to talk about it so that I can share with you all the hypocrisy of whiteness. It's never ending. And how the children of the corn are always going to find themselves to be, scapegoats and victims. They are never the perpetrators of any other crimes against humanity. So I'm praying that the Most High avenges us quickly. I don't even have to see it. Just do it, Lord. Just do it, Yah. Do it. Because we cannot survive if He does not come and do something about these people. They are off the chain. Anyway, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. Follow me on Odyssey, Rumble, Instagram, and on Facebook. The links are in the description. Also, follow me on, um, uh, I was going to say Substack, but I'm not doing nothing with Substack because I just feel like everything's getting ready to go away. Um, Support the channel. My Venmo and my coffee links are in the description at the very bottom of the box. And lastly, continue to prep. You are the help you're going to be looking for. So prep, like you're going to have to rely on nobody but you. And some ignorant people in your family, they're going to rely on you too. So prepare for them as well. If the Most High leads you to, but definitely prepare a little extra. Make certain that you are keeping the Sabbath, repenting for your sins daily, sins of commission and sins of omission. Learn those laws, statutes, and commandments because they're going to be really important. Learn about being marked for the beast and being sealed by the Most High as a child of His chosen, or the elect. So you have to do some studying. You got to get into your word and you have to study daily. Get your spiritual weight up because we are officially in the season of spiritual warfare, and it's getting worse by the day. Even people are acting crazy. Me and my son talk about it all the time. Like you literally have to just stay away from people and be quiet and look straight ahead and mind your own business, because even people act weird now. So um, just make sure that you are ready to protect yourself and you figure out what protection means to you. But continue to prep, because we don't have long before all these things start just accumulating in a way that our troubles are going to be compiled. When it doesn't matter if it's natural or man-made, but they're going to be compiled, and so we need to be able to navigate and manage when those times come. And now is the time to prepare, so that the pressure won't be so bad when things do happen. All right, this is Marla Kay. Love y'all, and I'm out.